A very good evening to everybody who is there in this session, meeting after a long time in the Materia Medica session. So, my dear friends, we have discussed many remedies from the second year syllabus, and all of them are very useful remedies in our day-to-day homeopathic practice. And today also, we're going to learn a very important remedy. In fact, we used to use it nearly about daily in our practice, and that is the Colocynthis. We'll go through the Allen's keynotes, but before going to the Allen's keynotes, I want to share a few cases where I used to use this remedy very nicely, and it has its own significance. There was a patient who brought to me, it has happened 10 years back. She was a student of our college, and all of a sudden she was brought to me with a very severe colic. She was absolutely all right till afternoon, and something happened in the college. Some teacher has scolded her in front of all students, even though she was right. And immediately thereafter, she started very severe pain. And she was brought to me in such a condition that she has put her hands totally pressed on the lower abdomen, and she was nearly about bending forward, and she was brought to me by supported by two of her friends, and she was there. I asked whether she had a menses. She never had a menses. She, in fact, 10 days back, she had earlier menses. So that was not the question of dysmenorrhea. Then the supporting students, they told the experience what has happened in the afternoon in the college, and they explained that she got immediately that pain, and thereafter she is in this condition and she's ailing with the pain, and it was very severe colicky spasmodic pain was there in the lower abdomen, and she was just pressing and bending double. See, this is state. What is the cause? Cause is very important. Here the cause is indignation, anger, mortification, very close to the statisagria, very close. Both remedies have a righteous anger, but here it is reflected in the form of very severe colic, and colic is better by hard pressure, colic is better by bending double. Then you can differentiate it from the statisagria. So in such an acute state, whenever patient comes in agony with acute state, should not wait for the remedy giving in low doses, low potency, not at all. Here it is the acute susceptibility. The cause is sudden, reaction is sudden. All of a sudden things happen, susceptibility is too high. You have to select Colocynth in 10 potency. I have given Colocynth in 10 potency and asked her to lie down on the bed. She was refusing earlier before giving Colocynth because she was not able to lie down. She was bending forward. I have given just a dose of Colocynth in her mouth, and after within 2-3 minutes, she felt relaxed. And then I asked her to lie down on bed. She was able to lie down, and colic stopped instantaneously within 5 minutes. And she said she was just sweating because of that. And she said it was very severe, sir. It was very severe. I could not able to even talk to you because it was so much painful for me. And now I'm feeling relaxed. And I asked her to lie down over there for next 10 minutes. And she completely gets relaxed with the first dose of Colocynth. Here, the question of potency comes. Many times, many practitioners uses low potency, 30 potency, 200 potency. It works, but it takes time. It never works instantaneously. In acute states with acute hypersusceptibility, must think of high potency. No repetition is needed. 1 or 2 doses are sufficient, and it relieves the spasm which is there. Colocynth has that spasmodic pain, and which is better by pressure, heart pressure. Here it differs from the MACPOS. In MACPOS, it is more right-sided. In Colocynth, it is more left-sided. In MACPOS, it is better by warm application, hot water bath. Here it is better by heart pressure, and that is the basic difference. And third thing, the cause in colocynth, one must not forget that it is always an element from anger, indignation, mortification, the ratish anger. Those things are very typical of the colocynth. Even headache can be induced in case of colocynth because of same cause. Migrainal headache, which you can get over there, and many times we forget this remedy in headache. So that was the first important case which I want to share. Second important case which I have already shared with you while discussing some rheumatology, that it was a case of a practitioner who was suffering from very severe left-sided sciatica, 50 years man, when I was just in 25, 26, and he came to me with severe left-sided sciatica, and he was on homeopathy with colocynth without any result. So I checked him, I thoroughly clinically examined. I told him, you have L4-5Ds on the basis of clinical examination. His son was my student in the college. He was in final year and he brought him and he told me that he was with the senior homeopath. He has prescribed colocynth, it is not working. And then they went to the Sancheti hospital. They have done the MRI scan and then they explained, doctor, how you have diagnosed that this fellow is having L4-5Ds. I'm having L4-5Ds. Then I told that clinically it is so. And then he showed me the MRI, which was showing similar left side L4-5Ds prolapse with left-sided sciatica, left-sided pressure over there on the root. So remedy was very correct because he was having very severe excruciating pain. He was not able to walk few footsteps. He was not able to stand properly, and it was going from right from LS lumbosacral junction to the left gluteus and left thigh. And it was so excruciating that it was not able to him to lie down properly. Also, that was so severe, and he was asking his son to press over there hardly. So it was very typical colocynth, and question was it was not working. I asked him, you have to do one thing. If you want to come out of this situation, you have to apply lumbosacral traction, 10 kg, continuous lumbar traction. Only during night you have to remove. Otherwise, you have to continuously 24 by 7, you have to be on this continuous lumbar traction. Ask them to purchase the lumbar traction set and ask them to stop the OPD for 10 days, no more OPD, and you do this. And I have given Colocynth 10 to him in repeated doses. Asked him to meet me after 10 days. When he entered after 10 days, the pain was nearly about 95% vanished. He was absolutely good and having very good smile on his face. The same remedy was not working with him because it was not given along with the auxiliary measures, which are necessary in cases of disc prolapse. That's why it is necessary to understand the diseases. So if you know it is a disc prolapse, you must know what one should do. You have to ask the patient to take 100% rest. But patient never lies down if you ask them to take the rest. It is always better to apply lumbar traction. So automatically he lies down and takes the complete rest. And your half of the work is done because of the just rest. The root edema always disappears after lying down or after rest. And once the root edema disappears, the pains get settled. And that was a wonderful cure which has happened within first 10 days after giving colocynth with a continuous lumbar traction. So that was another case which I have considered to share with you, and it was a wonderful effect of the colocynth which I have seen with that patient in a chronic case. In first case it was an acute attack. In the second case it was a chronic one. But in both it played its own role because it was very important thing which one has to understand. Third case which was there, it was again very early in my practice, very early. A lady came, nearly about 40 years of age, and she said, since last 3-4 days I am having very severe vertigo. I have gone to the such and such doctors. He has given me that Vertin tablet, and but what happens? I used to take that tablet. I feel drowsy thereafter, and I'm not able to walk, sir. If I turn towards the left side, I immediately feels as if I will fall down. So I asked how it has been started. So she was 40 years of age, and she said that what has happened on that day, I was having a very nose block. My nose was very much blocked. So one of my friends, she came with me, and she has given that tobacco smoke to sneeze so that it will get open. And I just take a one puff of it by nose, just do a one inspiration, and I got the sneezing, and immediately I started getting this vertigo, and it was very difficult. I was not able to turn towards left side. It was immediately I feel I will fall down. It is so severe vertigo. That was very indicative of the Colosynth. Generally, what happens, we used to take into consideration cona and maculatum. But cona, it is very specific that patient lies down and when turning in bed, the vertigo appears. Here it is not there. Here it is when patient turns towards the left side, the head turns towards the left and vertigo develops. Is the typical of Colosynth. And there is one more thing. The vertigo which is induced by the stimulants is the Colosynth vertigo. So these are two important things which are there. One is causative modality and another modality is the positional modality. Both of them are characteristic defining the Colocynth. I have given her Colocynth again in hypotensive, and 2 or 3 doses were sufficient to bring her out of that vertigo, and it suddenly stopped. So see, these are the things which one should not forget in our practice. So this remedy is a wonderful remedy. One should not forget. A very small remedy given by Allen. So let us open the Allen's Keynotes and learn the Colocynthis. It is squirting cucumber. So it looks like it is like a cucumber. You can call it by one in Marathi we call it tondla. That is that it is like that type of plant is there, cucurbitaceae, agonizing pain in abdomen causing patient to bend double. Whatever is given in bold in Allen's Keynotes has a lot of meaning. Causing patient to bend double. You observe patient is coming to bending double. Think of Colosine, think of MacPos. With restlessness, patient is in agony, restless, twisting and turning to obtain the relief. He moves like this is twisting and turning. That is very typical with the Colosine. Ameliorated by heart pressure, and that is again given in bold, and that is the characteristic of Colosine. It is better by applying very hard pressure over the abdomen, whether the pain is open, whatever it may be, whether it is appendicular, whether it is uterine, whether it is gallbladder, whether it is stomach, whether it is abdominal, anything. If this thing is there, Colosynth is the remedy. It never depends upon what is the diagnosis. It depends upon what is the man behind those symptoms and man behind that disease. That's what you have to look for. Ameliorated by heat, similar thing, but ameliorated by heat is the MACPOS. Pains, what type of pains are there in Colocynth? Colocynth pains are worse after eating or drinking. The pains compels patient to bend double. So it compels the patient to bend double, very severe. MACPOS, again having similar modality, better by bending double. But exact opposite modality is there. Aggravation by bending double is diascoria. And here the patient extends, it goes back. Diascoria is absolutely opposite position where patient feels better and he gets aggravated by bending double. See, this is observational feature which you have to keep it in your mind and locate in the patient. Menses suppressed by chagrin and colic pains. Chagrin, severe anger, righteous anger, and because of which the menses get suppressed. The Colocynth is one remedy, another remedy is Staphyagria. But it is associated with very severe pains, then Colocynth is there. See the mind of the Colocynth is extremely irritable, impatient, cannot sit patiently, becomes angry or offended on being questioned. They never likes to be questioned. That is very difficult with the Colosynth. Whenever you ask them any question, they get so much angry. Irritable, the throws things out of his hands like Sina child. They become so irritable and throws the mobiles. They never cares what is there in their hand. That much of anger. They express this anger in such a manner. Affections from anger with indignation. See, very important thing. Affections from anger, whatever may be. It may be colic, it may be headache, it may be backache, it may be sciatica, whatever it may be. Affections from anger with indignation, whether it is colic, whether it is vomiting, whether it is diarrhea, whether it is suppression of menses, whatever it may be. Think about the colocynth along with chamomilla and staphysagrine. But chamomilla pain is again a very acute pain where the patient generally happens to be there in children, and patient is weeping, crying, and cannot remain in one place. Staphysagrine, it tries to control the anger. Vertigo. See the vertigo, which I have discussed, that is very difficult. Vertigo when quickly turning the head, especially to the left, as if he would fall. And that is very typical, especially to the left, written in italics, having a meaning. So patient tries to turn towards left and he falls down. That is very typical with the colocynthis. Vertigo from stimulants. Whenever a patient consumes any stimulants, tobacco, drugs, um, tobacco smoke, smoking, alcohol, vertigo happens, think of the colocynth. Sciatica. What type of sciatica? Sciatica is crampy pain in the hip. There is a very severe crampy pain in the hip, as those screwed in a vice. Very severe excruciating pain throughout the left lower extremity. Lies upon affected side because of hard pressure the patient feels better. And that is very typical with this colocynth. Shooting pains like lightning shocks, very severe. Patient talks in Marathi. Doctor खूप चमका निघतात, cannot control lightning shocks down the whole limb. It is right from the hip to the lower limb. Left hip, left thigh, left knee into the popliteal fossa, and that is the very typical sciatic nerve course which is there with the colocynth. Another remedy associated with numbness is the causticum, but if it is because of chronic, generally my clinical interpretation is there. Acute prolapse intervertebral disc causing the sciatica is colocynth. Lumbar spondylosis causing the sciatica is causticum. See, this is what you have to understand. This is the difference. One is acute, one is chronic. Differentiation you have to find it out. There, the osteophytes causing pressure on the sciatic nerve, producing a stiffness and numbness and excruciating pain is there with the causticum. Colocynth, it is acute bulge, acute prolapse intervertebral disc. That is acute pressure, acute sciatica. Colocynth is the remedy. So we have to understand the depth of the remedy. The pace is very fast with the colocynth, and that's why it works beautifully in acute pains. See the relationship. Complementary, the merc in dysentery with great tenesmus. Colocynth is very good remedy for dysentery with severe colicky pain, better by aggravated, better by heart pressure, better by bending double. And merc is another close remedy which is complementary. After colocynth, you can give the merc salt. Compare naphthalum. Naphthalum is a very important remedy when sciatica is associated with numbness. The numbness is characteristic with naphthalum. Compare naphthalum, intense pain along right sciatic nerve, darting, cutting from right hip joint down to the foot, aggravated by lying down, motion, stepping up, and ameliorated by sitting. So here he has mentioned modalities of the remedy and the side determination. It is naphthalum, it is right-sided, colocynth is left-sided. Aggravated by lying down, motion, and stepping, that is more with the naphthalum. Ameliorated by sitting. In colocynth, ameliorated by hard pressure or lying on same side. Compare with staphysagrine and ovarian or other diseases from the bad effects of anger. reserved indignation, and silent grief. Staphysagra, the anger, they keeps it inside. They keeps it inside. They never like something. They keeps it inside. Reserved displeasure. They never liked that thing. They are displeased with the things, but they keep it inside. Or a silent grief. The grief is there, but they keep again inside. That is more with the Staphysagra. Colocynth is more expressive of that. And then the general modalities of the remedy. Aggravation. Aggravation from anger and indignation. Aggravation from mortification caused by offense. Mortification means apman, mankhandana. Like Staphysagra, lycopody. Cheese aggravates the colic. So this is again one important thing one should not forget. Colic after eating cheese, burger, pizza, and pain in abdomen is there. This remedy one should not forget. And then general amelioration from bending double and from heart pressure. See, this is wonderful remedy in our acute practice. And acute practice we can develop on the basis of acute remedy. We must know the differentiation between these remedies. Basically, I will ask you to differentiate the colocynth with macphos and diascoria. These are three remedies, wonderful colic remedies, but with a different modalities. And if one is able to differentiate them, one can use it very freely in their day-to-day practice. So that's all regarding the colocynth and its application. If any queries are there, we can have a talk, otherwise we'll conclude. Any question, any query?
Perfume stimulant, somebody gets vertigo means we can
Yes,
use
yes.
Colocynth.
That is also stimulant. Yes, that this is one more remedy which can be used in such, even in such types of cases.
Okay, thanks.
हॅलो सर.
Yes, Madhu.
सर नमनेस मध्ये पेशंट कसं एक्सप्रेस करेल सर? बधीर पडलंय का काय? म्हणजे नमनेस मध्ये कसं आपण एक्झॅक्टली घेऊ शकतो?
Patient talks that it becomes absolutely heavy. There is no sensation. Numbness is badhir. मराठीमध्ये बधीर होणं. Sensation जाणवणं नाही. That is typical of numbness. And nephilum is having that typical sensation that they talks you that they cannot feel anything over there in that extremity. It is as if absolutely benumb sensation over there in that specific area.
आणि सर टिंगलिंग म्हणजे मुंग्या येणं
मुंगे, हो.
असं म्हणू शकतो.
Correct.
थँक्यू सर.
Payal has asked, can we give 10M in acute colic to the child? Yes, yes, definitely you can. 1M, 10M, these are potencies which are very useful in such types of cases. So you must have 1M, 10M. 30 to 100, no, I'm not using even 200. Very occasionally I have used 200. 30, I never used. Any other query? So again, we have started with our regular series. My suggestion to all of you, there are many teachers are there. Dr. Yogesh sir, yes. Good evening, sir. Meeting
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
After 1 week.
Yeah, sir. Definitely.
Yes. I was very happy in your college. I was there 1 week back and it was wonderful
Yeah, sir.
experience. Ask your friends to join
Absolutely.
this unique activity. They can get
Yeah, sir,
benefited
definitely.
from it. And there are no charges to attend that.
Yeah.
At 5:45 we do the philosophy session daily, and at 8 o'clock the Materna Medica session. So ask them to join this unique activity.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Okay. Thank
It
you.
was a nice session, sir.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. And we'll meet tomorrow again with a MacPOS, another remedy from the Allen's Keynotes. Okay?
Yes.
So good night, everyone. Thanks
Good
a
night.
lot.
Good night, sir.